Skip, it's the end of the world. What are we gonna do? What are you gonna do? Oh, it's happening. It's happening. Okay. So this is, relax, bro. Like, statistically speaking, like, I'm freaking 47 or something. I don't know how old I am. I just realized I don't know how old I am. Dude, I'm good with numbers, but I keep forgetting how old I am. Then I'll remember a couple of years later. Like, I was off by 2 years when I got married. And then, so, like, 1 year, me and my wife were talking. And then, like, 3 years later, it happened again where, like, I just stayed the same age because I can't count. And, like, being born in the middle of the year, you know what I mean, cut me some slack. So, maybe you shouldn't listen to the guy that don't even know how old he is. Or maybe it's a conspiracy so that nobody on the internet can steal my identity. Okay, so I haven't had any coffee yet. That's the scary part right there. Like, what's it gonna be like for you when the balloon goes up and there's no more coffee? What are you gonna do? Okay, just relax. Relax. We gotta relax a little bit. Keep our wits about us because I mean, God's in control. So if He's your dad, like, even if it's really bad, dude, it's just a chance for valor and cool stuff. You know what I mean? So, gotta have a little shillelagh the enemy energy every now and then. La-di-da, walking out in front of the semi. No big deal. Okay, to the point. Okay, I brought receipts. I literally got up and I thought, man, I parked here last night, but Walmart was closed, and it's like walking distance to Walmart. And I wanted to get some food because it's the end of the world this week. Okay, so if I really think it's the end of the world, what does Skip buy? Okay, gallon of whole milk, 10 ounces of Rotel, dozen eggs, 2 pounds of jasmine rice, great value pepper jack cheese, 1 pound, organic limes, 85 saddle. That's the 8515, the saddle pack where you get 3 pounds, and that comes to a tune of $19.97. So, you know, we're under $7 a pound, which is good for grass finished beef, allegedly. And then I got 1 New York strip. It was marked down to $10.89. We got a grand total of $53.11, $2.92 in tax. Got $100 cash back. Here is the receipt if you would like to screenshot that. I know it's backwards. I mean, like, here it is. Here it is. The list. Okay, that's where I'm at and everything. If you're real slick with those numbers, you might even be able to figure out that I paid with a debit card. Ah, debit card. What are we going to do when the cash goes digital? Bro, the cash has been digital for money's been digital for most of my life. I think there's a ledger somewhere with a bunch of phony numbers on it, and that's how money started to begin with, where some fat dude tricked some people out of fish. Anyways, so, like, relax, and then if you think it's the end of the world, you probably had this thought before. What did you do before? Okay, and then, like, if that thought hits you and you do anything besides go get perishable goods, what are you doing? Yeah, you need to really get serious if that's the case. I mean, if you're, like, seriously in a panic about stuff, I mean, your supply chain, the supplies and stuff like that, you know, it's never enough or whatever, so that's a thing. And then, like, they've been crying wolf for 50 years. One of these times they're going to be right, according to the Bible. That might be 300 years from now, but probably not in all reality. When you actually read the Bible enough to know what it says, these are the signs of the times and everything else like that, it's incredibly similar to now. And get right with the Creator, that's what you got to do. If you're okay with that, and you think you're all right, be careful when you think you stand, lest ye fall. So you want to be real careful. You want to go back, just get your perishable goods, and start thinking about some Thanksgiving stuff. This is a good time. Get your Thanksgiving squared away. What you can freeze. What's, get your can of pumpkin. Get you a few, pie crusts or whatever you want to do, stuff to make pie crust. Whatever you want to do for your Halloween, and not your Halloween, for your Thanksgiving that's coming up. With any luck, you've been camping, so you've got that squared away. You know what it's like to take your stuff into the woods, make camp, break camp, and move. That's you never got enough reps and sets for that. But shout out to t-shirt bags. Surprisingly useful, remarkably cheap, and when the balloon goes up, we won't have no more t-shirt bags because there's no more Walmart. So turns out they're incredibly useful, and everybody's got a bag of bags somewhere. You know what I mean? And so even after, there's going to be this delay, a while, and then there won't be no more of them. And man, you might be sitting on a gold mine with your t-shirt bags. So nobody's going to need them for a while. And then about the same time, everybody's going to run out, because you got that bag with bags in a drawer, in a closet corner, whatever like that. I think that if we all go Amish about 6 months into this deal, everybody's going to be like, I best get the free bags I can put in the little trash can. The free bags we can put in a little trash can. Oh, looky here. It's a trash can. You can double bag it, drop a deuce, and, do what you got to do. And stay clean your RV and throw the bag away. You can do that. You can do that. Look at this. What is this? Those are limes. Okay, so that meat, I can cook all that meat, take the meat out, leave the fat in. Cook that 2 pounds of rice, put my salt mixture that has all my goodness in one container, shake it. That's probably more than enough. It turns the rice yellow too, because the turmeric. Anyway, it's pretty cool. It actually tastes good just like that, really. It needs a little hot sauce at the end. I got a can of Rotel, right? And then I'll just throw the meat back in there, half a pound of cheese, and then I will mix it. That gives me my meat to go with my eggs for breakfast. That gives me my meat to eat of the evening. You know what I mean? And then I can just put a plop of it and then cut some cheese. Or if I'm in a hurry, I can just get a cut of cheese. And then all this stuff. I was looking at, people drink this man in a can, is what we used to call it, with all the whey proteins and all that. And I just drink milk, So I've been doing that my whole life, and I've always been kind of stocky or whatever. And then my wife, in all her wisdom and goodness, said, I don't know why you're getting protein drinks. You drink a half a gallon of milk just about every day. But I don't when I'm out here, because it's expensive out here. I might just drink a little 8 ounce or a quart or whatever pint, maybe. But for me, I don't know about anybody else, but if I have heartburn and I drink some milk, it just puts the fire out. So, but when I have a fire, it's because fresh jalapenos. So I don't actually have indigestion. So I don't know how anybody else works or whatever like that, but I went all prep food for a week, and I did not have dysentery at all. So I don't know what I'm doing right, what these other people are doing wrong, but I'm going to have to assume it's you live in a house with running water. So I do not. I live in a parking lot in a truck. So, I'm not out here walking around doing stuff and, building fence for a living. So when I put tile in my bathroom, my legs hurt for days. Literally. Wow. That was a surprise. So I gotta up my exercise for sure. But my ability to retain calories and digest them, my uncle says I have the constitution of a goat. I'm not even sure that goats have a constitution, but I think it's something about digestion he's referring to. So, yeah. But that's the list. That's the list. I walked to Walmart and I said, well, if this is the end of it, this is what I'm going to get, and this is what I got. It was, I wanted to have an extra 100 cash. I mean, you never have too much cash. And 20s are good. If I'm doing barter to whatever degree, if it's less than $20, why am I wasting my time? Like, it's the freaking apocalypse. So 20s are good. Maybe 10s, I guess, whatever. Like, but if I'm gonna do some trading post barter or go into a store to pay with cash, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna let them keep the change off this deal so I can come back again. I'm gonna buy that $10 worth of stuff and maybe get a Snickers on the side and be like, man, keep the rest. Don't forget me when I come back around. And yeah, so that is one thing I want to say. I've been to a lot of shippers and receivers. It's the guard that holds the power of the gate. So whether or not I get in there to talk to the guy about the delivery or the pickup is whether or not the guard lets me through the gate. So if I go to some place on a regular basis, grapes, pizza, I'll give away cantaloupe. The watermelon's too much, and it's got like, social stigmatism or whatever. You can't give the guard a bucket of chicken and a watermelon without him getting pissed off. And that's like the direct opposite of what I'm going for. But I could give the same guy a cantaloupe. He's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "Oh man, I got extra cantaloupe. You want one?" I just like to give something to the guard, that way we're friends or whatever. I generally don't tell him I'm doing it, so he'll be my friend. But I'll be like, "Hey man, I got this. Do you like cantaloupe? Here, man, here, you can have one." Dude, you'd be amazed. The gesture has a certain whatever, but the fact that they're eating it later reminds them again. And now you're in their head. So when you show up, they're like, "Oh." I learned that from a Dave Chappelle thing. Dave Chappelle's got an episode where he goes to the bodega and he's trying to get something he shouldn't be buying or whatever, so he turns around and he just moons the dude. They're like, oh, black ass, we remember him, yeah, here's a bag of weed or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's taking it a little bit too far or whatever like that. Lessons from Dave Chappelle. Who knew? Anyway, so it's all about interacting with people, okay? So like, I wouldn't offer the cheeks for remembrance, but I'll offer the lope. So pizza goes real good too. Hey, I got this pizza. Would you like some pizza? I have bought pizza for everybody at the whole establishment repeatedly where I work. Just go, "Hey, it's pizza day. Don't worry about lunch. I got you." Just holler it into the office. And then like freaking call Domino's and drop $200 on pizza and go to Walmart, like get, massive amounts of individual sized Gatorades. Those little 8-packs of Gatorades, those are prosperous because you can get one, just get each color. You know what I mean? And then the pizza shows up, and then you put the Gatorade out there on the table. Everybody can get whatever they want, type of deal. And then no carb people can just eat off the top of it or whatever. Kosher, you got to get some cheese only, and you got to get, if you can do the chicken ranch with no bacon, that's really prosperous. Yeah. And that's something too, like if you have not tried it, if you have not been a prisoner pizza guy, if you'll find some organic wheat, grind it yourself, put water and make it into a dough, a little bit of yeast, not really that much. Make it into a ball, put it in the refrigerator. Next day about lunch, roll this sumbitch out just as thin as you can get it. Put ranch dressing, and then freaking cut up cheese. Or cut up cheese. Well, yeah, cut up cheese, but cut up chicken. Like if you got a leftover rotisserie chicken, not so much, but like canned chicken works real good. And then like any chicken that you cook, just cut it into chunks as if you were going to put it in a salad. The canned chicken, I think I have a can of chicken somewhere. It works pretty good as well. Not as much, but and then let them. And when you present it for consumption, put a bottle of hot sauce on the table. There's something about the ranch that works like pizza sauce. So like if you have the acid reflux or whatever like that, you can eat this. You can eat this. Like if you don't eat pizza because tomatoes fuck you up, this pizza you can eat and have good digestion. So that's just a little pro tip. You know what I mean? And I would recommend. I definitely would recommend that you do a every other day prepper food, because what's happening is you're just not used to that type of food. There's nothing wrong with your preps. There's something wrong with your carcass. Like you gotta be ready. You know what I mean? You want to be dual fuel. You know what I mean? So everybody goes out and they buy a gasoline propane generator, saying, well, I don't know which one I'm going to have, or whatever. You know what I mean? 2 is 1 and 1 is none, and they just eat the same 3 items 90% of the time, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you got to switch it up. Like you got to go all meat for 2 weeks, and then a week of no meat, all carbs. If you can do that without diarrhea, you're in a very good place. And that's something, it's taken me a while to be able to do that. Like I went no carbs and fasted and everything, and then just carnivore after that. And then stepping from 2 weeks of that, I think it was a 3-day fast, 2 weeks of all beef, eggs, and lamb, cheese, milk, and then a week of prepper food. No loose stool at all. None. And it's because I am prepared for that. And that, to be able to do that, took me 3 years of trying to figure out what works for me. Am I, how's my body responding? Change one food. How's my body responding? Change one food. And sometimes, I was doing a lot of salad and stuff. You know what I mean? And sometimes I do it nothing. A little water and hamburger meat. That's it. I did 1 week of all lamb. You know what I mean? And just whatever works for you. And this the Yasmin rice, these 2-pound blocks. 2-pound blocks. I would, if you're busy, this is $4. This is $4, okay? This fills this entire pot when it's done. That's 2 pounds of dry rice. It's like 6 pounds when you add the water. You throw in that $20, which is 3 pounds of beef, can of Rotel. This right here is my salts, which I've showed my spices I don't know how many times, but I got it in this because I got tired of shaking all the stuff out every time. I was opening 16 jars. What do you get? That's some Baja sea salt. Okay, this right here, this is a Skipper blend. Okay, and that's about 3 pounds. It's Baja sea salt, Mediterranean sea salt, Himalayan. It's an iodized, when it rains it pours brand. What is that? I want to say Clabber Girl, but that's freaking bacon cider. Anyway, then it's got the pepper grinder melody organic stuff is the turmeric, the cumin, paprika, and just everything, like every spice I can come up with that, like when I'm studying on how these people stay healthy, and I see these you know, a lot of them have a bunch of spices. So the spices, like the turmeric, will make you not hurt. Like it really does. That was the other thing too. When I went home to do the thing, I took 0 vitamins and I did not eat my spices. And then I worked, you know, sledgehammer and lay tile for 3 days. And my legs hurt so bad. So part of that was coming off of the supplements, coming off of the spices. You know what I mean? So I became a mere mortal without my freaking multivitamin salt mixture. But with it, I could save the world. No, I'm just kidding. That's a Holy Ghost there. But yeah, like that's what you need to do. You need to go to Walmart for real and just like give your kids and your old lady like 2 $100 bills a piece and say, this is the last time we're ever going to be here. Figure it out. And just turn them loose, man. And just, you know, sit in the car, play on freaking Facebook, watch a YouTube video or whatever. Go in there and get your own stuff. But if you're buying more than perishables, you need to rethink your whole entire strategy. You know what I mean? When I started getting ready for the end of the world, I didn't even realize it. I was just broke, bro. Like I was broke, and I was an asshole. So nobody liked me. So I had no friends. And cause you know, life happens, and you know, drug addicts make problems. You know what I mean? Well, I wasn't really weed. You know what I mean? But you know, I was kind of an asshole as a young man. You know what I mean? I had a chip on my shoulder, whatever. And I was just gonna go out there and do it myself, and fuck y'all if you don't like it. You know what I mean? So I'd tell the boss, I'm like, who are you? You know what I mean? I don't care nothing about you, and stuff like that. So naturally, that abrasive got me in a world of problems. So yeah, not good. So I was just like, you know, I'm trying to survive. You know what I mean? I grew up at the end of the last dirt road. Like everybody around me's adults. Like I was the youngest one around. You know what I mean? Even the neighbors. Like the neighbors' kids started having kids when I was like 8. You know what I mean? So yeah. The competition for everything. And the you know, you can't go out there and not work them when you're 8 years old. You can go to work, yeah, sure. Yeah, you can cut the grass and, you know, cut up trees and stuff, and split wood, and all that kind of stuff, sure. But you know, you're not going to go to town and like, you know, put in 40 hours at the welding shop and get a check. You know what I mean? You gotta have alternatives to just because like labor laws and stuff. You know what I mean? Like what are you going to do? You know, you're not old enough to legally work, so whatever work you do, try to live, is going to be wrong. You're like you're damned if you do and hungry if you don't. So, you know, we ain't gonna be hungry. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I just wanted to bring all that up and share that today. And I want to, you know, statistically speaking, you know, there's only been one thermonuclear war out of 6,000 years. So I think both bombs went off within about a week. So like it'll be cool until it ain't, and then when it ain't, you're probably gonna die. So statistically speaking, like, you know, they call it mutually assured destruction for a reason. So you're going to die if that doesn't happen. It's the second death you need to get ready for. If you're ready for that, cool. If you're not, well, that's where I would start. And then if your preps are more than perishable, you're missing the mark big time. And the yeah. If you think you're going to go into rapture, just go ahead and stock up for the next guy. I probably will not, knowing my luck. Knowing my life, like somebody's still gonna have to be here to talk to y'all, and I'll probably still be driving around. Well, I know I'm gonna be driving this truck around. I know what God told me. I was like, can I drive this thing around for 15 years? He's like, yeah. Like, it's no big deal, right? Because I had some concerns. And this was approximately 7 years ago. So, if I seem like I personally am not worried about it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure they drove trucks around in Nagasaki a week after the problem, you know. Well, a year later, maybe about 15 years later, whatever. Somewhere in Japan, a truck was driving after the event. All right, Rockhill, go get him. Hey, man, for real, what's Jesus' blood time? Blood time. What Jesus' blood time? What's Jesus' blood time, brother? Be positive, man. The life is in the blood. The life is in the blood. You know what I mean? The life is in the blood. And the joke about the be positive or whatever, like put that positive goodness in you today. All right, okay, for real. If it really is all going to end tomorrow, enjoy today. What do you say? There's a proverb. It's like, let us eat and drink today, for tomorrow we die. You know what I mean? Doesn't even matter. You know what I mean? Like, you can only do so much, you know, and every 7 days you got to rest. That means, like, on the day of rest, you know, you're not resting if you're worried. And worry is unbelief in a different part of the Bible. So, like, you know, you need to get your faith level up and realize that God is still on the throne. God's God, not us. If I sit here and confess that I'm not God and then I'm worried because of what might happen, then, you know, either I don't trust in His plan, or like I know His plan and I'm like, oh shit. You know what I mean? So that might be a thing, which does happen, don't get me wrong. But I'm just going to ride it out either way, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, that's what's happening. Well, let's get to it, you know. It doesn't sound very boring, so that's good. There's a silver lining in my coat. You know, there's a silver lining. But I don't think I'm supposed to wear it now because I forgot about that thing about don't blend the cotton and the polyester's bad or whatever. Anyway, I gotta have the cotton on the skin. Luckily I have the cotton for the skin. All right, Rock Hill, go get them.